So we're going to make some Pisco Punch. Now, to make punch effectively in the correct way, it takes time. It takes a lot of time. And Pisco Punch is one of the most famous classic punches. It was developed in the mid to late 1800s in San Francisco, when San Francisco was a booming gold town. And it was created at a place called the Bank Exchange by a bartender named Duncan Nickel. And everybody drank there, and everybody drank Pisco Punch. Pisco is the national beverage of Peru. It's also made in Chile, but to make this correctly, get a good bottle of Peruvian Pisco, like Barsol or something equivalent to that. And if you really want to do this right, get a book called Punch by David Wondrich and read up on the history of punch. It's really fascinating. There's a lot of good pointers in there, and again, it takes a lot of time to do this right, so follow the process. Now, the first thing you want to do, you really need to start the night before. And you need to start with a whole pineapple. You need to cut the pineapple up into chunks and soak it in gum syrup. Gum syrup is basically a simple syrup that's made with Arabic gum, which is a powder. And all you need to do is take a blender, put a little powder in with the water and sugar, and blend it up into a fine consistency. And soak your pineapple chunks in there. You're going to use both of them the next day for the punch. Let it soak overnight, and then the next day, take the rind of 3 or 4 lemons and do just like I'm doing here with a vegetable peeler. Peel it off to not have much of the pith. And put those in your punch bowl. You're then going to take about 6 ounces of some sugar and maybe even mix this in a little bit with the pineapple gum. And with a muddler, draw out all the oils from the lemon rind. And this takes a few minutes. I mean, to do it thoroughly, you want to make sure you get all the oil out. You want to make sure you use the granulated sugar to draw the oils out and muddle it all together, stir it around, just agitate it until it's well integrated. And then you really want to just set it aside. You want to set it aside for a couple of hours, maybe even cover it up, and you're going to end up with a somewhat kind of sticky, syrupy consistency. And what it does is it creates layers of flavor. It takes the time to draw all that citrusiness out, and it creates this product known as oleosaccharum, which becomes more or less the basis for your punch. So once you've done that, once you've got that sitting after a couple of hours, you're going to add a bottle of Pisco. You're going to add about the equivalent of that much water, probably about 20, 24 ounces, and around 10 ounces of your pineapple gum syrup, 10 ounces of lemon juice, and a giant block of ice, as well as take those chunks of pineapple and you put some in the bowl and then serve 1 in each cup of punch. But when you're finished, you're going to end up with something that looks pretty close to this right here. And again, done correctly, it might take a little time, might take a little extra effort, but as with most things, it does pay off, and it is quite a beautiful and delicious punch to serve for a party. The Pisco Punch. Cheers.